Alright, hello, this is Christian Chamberlain showing off my Lights Out game, or at least my version of it. Decided to put a little bit of a twist to it, a little bit of a magic theme. So we're going to hit play right here. And right now we start out with this little main menu, little title card. So if you highlight over the buttons, they actually have a way to show the user that they are highlighted. Boom, click on instructions real quick. And it just goes over a brief little rundown of what you are going to be doing. So let's hit back, and then we'll jump right into the game. So right here we have our basic game set up. We have a timer off to the side here, ticking up to let the player know how long they've been taking. Move counter, which actually increments every time they click on a button, and a reset button to save the player just in case they've gone a little too far. So if you can see here, if we click right here, the subsequent neighbors actually turn off, and the button we click turn on because it was previously off. So that's the general makeup of this game, is that it's just turning lights on and off until you can figure out how to actually get all the lights to finally be off. And after a while, you're going to be like, okay, I have no idea how to do this. Let's go reset this puzzle because it's actually pretty easy. If we just click these three right here, we will actually win. And to kind of enhance that whole magic theme, you won and you have unlocked the fire spell. So then we just hit next game. It reloads that same current level. So let's jump right into the code. Now there's just a couple basic things here. This is for the main menu itself. It just loads different scenes and makes different panels active. In the button controller, we actually have this function called toggle button, which takes the text from the button and sees if it's on or off, and then flips it based on that. So that's how we're actually turning on or off the lights. This one right here, change neighbors, is actually called by the game controller script, and that's after we determine which buttons to turn off or which ones are around the button that we clicked. So if we come here at the start, this is just the basic board that we started off with. So it goes through a for loop of the game board, and every time we get to a specific item within that array, it flips it on so that we have something to play with when we first start the game. From the button controller script, we actually call the toggle neighbors method, and that takes a argument of game object, which we decided to put in the button that has been selected currently, so selected game object. Here what we're doing is we are converting the name itself, because I named them all numbers, into an int, which then we can change depending on which direction we're actually looking in. So I decided to look in the cardinal directions, north, south, east, west, and it takes this placement int and adjusts it based on the position in the board, or wherever we're trying to look. So here we have, if north is actually in bounds of the array, so 0 to 24, then it calls the change light state. You want to be careful of the edges because it doesn't wrap back, or it will wrap back around, and it will turn on a light on the opposite side, which we don't want here. We only want the ones that are directly connected to that button. So in change lights, what we're doing is kind of a little interesting. What we're doing is we're forcing that button to fire off and without it actually being clicked. So here we grab the script from the button in the cardinal direction that we are currently looking. Then we kind of force it to fire off its change state or change neighbors function, which is in here. Once again, boom, go back. And it does exactly the same thing as the toggle buttons does. This one's just a little different because it takes an argument. Then after all of the lights have been changed, after you make your click, it actually calls check for win. Check for win, what it does is it goes through a for loop of the entire array and checks to see how many are not on. So how many are off, right? So every time it finds an object that is off, it increases the win counter by 1 right here. And then it does a little if statement right afterwards, which is if win counter equals 25, then you win. Congratulations, the win card activates, the timer stops, and then you're allowed to reset the game if you want to, but you've earned your fire spell. You're one step closer to becoming a real magician, and that's really about it. Thanks for watching.